Hello, my very dear Cancer tribe. This is for the week of July 21st, and it will not be for everybody in the Cancer Collective. Cancer, the first song that I was hearing, and I didn't really want to hear it, was Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by Elton John. Don't let the sun go down on me, although I search myself, it's always someone else I see. Just allow a fragment of my life to wander free. Now, Cancers, I have not seen you lately as being sad or anything of that nature, but it is true that if we look at the history of Cancer, there can be a quality almost of melancholy because your heart is so responsive to emotion and deep emotion and tender emotion. It can lead to that almost melancholy, sentimental quality. What I've been seeing, however, is that while you are, as you've been in the transition phase of re-identifying how to love, what you love, where you love, there is a quality of freedom that goes along with that. And freedom to kind of liberate yourself from the need to go into that quiet, dark space. Because I say quiet, dark space because I perceive it as that very internal place that you need to go to process emotion. This is not a weakness, Taurus, Cancers. This is a strength. Sorry, I just did a Taurus reading. This is a strength. It is something that is very particular to you. Something... Yes, particular to you. Water signs tend to want to go deep, but as far as water signs go, you are the water sign that really tends to go into feeling profoundly, into emotion profoundly, as a way to understand not just yourself, but the result of that is that you understand it in others because you are empathic. Once you've understood it, once you have felt it, you can feel it in others too, which can mean that you need to choose your people carefully in terms of who you wish to associate with. Because while there are things that you can do certainly to limit the impact of other people's energies on you, there is also a truth that it is part of your nature to be perceptive and emotionally perceptive. So, the next song, and this is what I really like, the next song you get was a Benny Goodman song way back from the 50s, Sing, Sing, Sing. It's a swing song, and it's sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing, dee-dee-dee, da-da-da-da, and it goes on like that. So I suggest that you look it up, Sing, 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 with a swing. And it is so uplifting. Like, you cannot listen to that music without wanting to just snap your fingers and lift, move your feet, just like, ugh. So I saw that and I thought, that's very interesting. That makes sense to me, because while you're in this position of moving into this new state of awareness of where your power lies, and this new understanding of how you would like to experience yourself in the world and experience love yourself, for yourself, but also love from other people. This is very much something that you can use to your advantage, this sensitivity, because equally, Cancers, as much as you can get almost melancholy and deep and quiet as you're processing emotion, you also can hear something and have it pick you up like that. So now this is where you get to choose, which doesn't mean you're ever going to stop processing heavier emotions. I say heavier emotions, more profound emotions, emotions that are sometimes uncomfortable. You will, because that's part of your nature. It's part of your gift. But what this is saying is, and remember that you can also use that sensitivity to your own advantage to raise your vibration and to be able to not get stuck in some of the heavier emotions that sometimes you can get stuck in. Remember, water is the next heaviest sign to earth. Even though it moves, it's heavy. It always seeks the lowest level. Like if we look at it literally as an element, it moves downward. That's part of why you can go into the unconscious, to the deeper recesses, to the memories. And so it's important to remember that because it is a heavier vibration, a heavier frequency, slower frequency, you can tend to get stuck in some of those heavier emotions. So this is the way that you can actually work for your own benefit to lift yourself when you do kind of get stuck in some of that, and maybe start going around in an eddy as opposed to flow. Just infuse yourself with a little bit more positive energy. And also, it's time for you to enjoy that. It's time for you to experience delight. The cards that the guides gave me is pleasure and play with your intuition. And so for me, the message here really very strongly from Spirit is this is time to look for those things that lighten you up, that lighten your moods. And, maybe especially now, because there are so many emotions traveling through our group mind on this planet that can really bring you down and are really, really challenging for anybody who has an empathic element and who processes emotion as a way of being. It can be difficult. It can be challenging. So this is really, really good for you, my very dear Cancers. You're being reminded that when we work and operate have you ever noticed when you work with heartfelt pleasure, how much more productive you are? That when pleasure reaches your heart in any kind of loving way, you're kinder in your loving, more generous, and more easily satisfied? Heartfelt pleasure can guide us to acts of kindness and gratitude, open us to greater depths of nourishing desires, compassion, and grace. All those things that you value, Cancer. Play is spontaneous. Its goal is fun and laughter and enjoying the moment. It might be silly and doesn't worry about what things look like. It risks seeming silly and immature. It can be loud or quiet. It's often found in creativity. Everything you do can be done with an attitude of playfulness. So then you get the intuition play card, which I really love. And you've got that right over that God is head over heels in love with you no matter what. So what you're being also told here, my dears, is that you are in touch with, because of the whole empathy thing, you are in touch. That's really articulate, the whole empathy thing. Because you are so empathic, you really do pick up things. And so now you're being told, pick up intuitive things that are going to help you out. Play, run games with yourself to test what it feels like when you're on, when you're off. And actually that's part of what can help you start creating more of a deliberate and more palpable boundary, so that you can be clearer on what you let in and what you don't let in, what's yours, what's not yours. So playing with intuition is really, really good for you. I'm going to just put the card up here in case you want to take a screenshot of it. It's got some very basic ideas on how to do that. If you want more, you can go to my website. There are free exercises there that can explain some basic stuff on how to work with your intuition and develop it. But really, I think for me, the biggest part of this is it's reminding you that you are in connection. That, because sometimes you forget that. You're feeling things so much all the time, you forget that you're getting things from there. But also, I'm so articulate today, that you are picking things up from the unified field and from other dimensions. And again, the head over heels in love. If you knew, absolutely, that God loved you no matter how sillily you looked, no matter whether or not you decided you were going to live a life of pleasure and playfulness, what would that look like? Would you be able to be a little less serious about some of the things that you feel? Would you be able to take your emotions or your emotionality a little less seriously and put it over there and say, yeah, it's a gift, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. Okay? That's a good thing. And I can use play as a way to allow myself not to get caught into it in a way where it feels dramatic. Okay? Because again, that's natural to feel that way when you're a water sign. It's quite natural. Okay? That is it, my very dear Cancers. Take care.